Well, it sounds lovely. The Gardens of Frankfort, 64 acres near LaGrange Road and Steger Road outside of Frankfort, 442 units, manufactured homes, 160 different units in the Green Garden Township. It sounds great, right, Charles?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a fast-growing area out there. It's off LaGrange Road.
Yep.
That's right down the main drag in Frankfort, right?
Yeah, but it's a project that's been put on hold, and we're going to find out why right now. Let's welcome to the program Dan Rose and our good friend Justin Ozinga. Good morning, both of you. How are you?
Good morning, Amy and Charles.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, Dan, let's start with you. Tell us about Gardens of Frankfort and how long and what the tie-up is in getting this project started.
Yeah, so about 30 years ago, my father moved me and my family to Frankfort. I think it was 93. And we moved into the Gateway Mobile Home Park just at LaGrange and Steger. And as part of that project, it was a three-phase project, but this is quite a long time ago. But my dad had planned a fourth phase, which he had to go into the Will County Court to get his zoning for, which we did prevail in court and got that in 2003. And in 2021, when we came in to collect on our zoning, which was at the beginning of the new mayor of Frankfort, Mayor Keith Ogle, we call controlling Keith Ogle because of his behavior. But it's taken us 3.5 years to get nowhere. And in December, we do this all over the country in terms of real estate development, and Frankfort's my hometown. And as I saw what we're kind of dealing with in Frankfort, I got, personally involved and decided to make an impact here and to do something and make a 10-year commitment to the city on the journalism front. And that's where, this kind of all came to a head in December, where we realized what was going on, that we were being blocked, with really, I would say, no rational reason that we can think of. And as I dug into what was going on in Frankfort, I met Justin, who had already announced running for mayor. And, it's a lot worse than I anticipated, even though I see this all over the country. It really is a small town politics nightmare. And,
well, before we get to Justin, I wanted the mayor, in his defense, he says that there are concerns about sanitary sewage. What's your response?
Sure. Yeah. So as part of this, we had to do I shouldn't say we had to do the city, Village of Frankfort originally tried to get us to pay for a study on their water system. About 5 or 6 of the basins that includes what would be the Gardens of Frankfort development. And as part of that study, we learned that there's issues with the sanitary sewer. There's overflow from the sanitary into the water system when there's hard rains. If there's a 50-year rain, we're going to be looking at 4 or 5 full basins of their water system with water leaking into the basements of all the Frankfort residents there. And it's not the type of water you want in your basement. It's coming from the sewage system. So he's claiming that, but on the same time, over the last 4 years, he's been giving out permits for every other development that he thinks is appropriate up and down those water basins. So it's a discrimination case against us. When we went in, this is clearly commanded by the court. We've already won our rights to the zoning. And the mayor's comment to us is, I'm not an impediment. After 4 years of being told that all we have to do is go through the process and, don't worry, as long as you do this to a Frankfort standard, it'll be okay. He's, in a meeting in December, he told me, which I kind of took as an FU, he said, well, I'm not an impediment. Go get your water from Aqua, which is in Moni, 5.5 miles away. So what he was saying is, go ahead and build 30,000 foot of linear pipe, and you can do this small development here.
Well, is this affordable housing? Is it needed right now in the area?
Yeah. So, in Frankfort, we have a housing shortage, and it's a problem. People that want to move within the village don't have the opportunity. If they want handicap accessible housing, if they have a 2-story house that it might cost 30 or 40 grand to put in all of the necessary things to make it feasible for somebody of that's elderly or that has some mobility problems. And this is a great solution for that. My great uncle Lloyd, war veteran, or he's a veteran. He lives there, and that's the profile of the people that live in the Gateway community. This would be, kind of viewed as an extension of that with the same quality or better quality. So we really think it's a benefit for the village. On top of that, it would prevent subsidized housing in the future. It does qualify under that bucket. So these would be, Frankfort residents, 55 and up, that would open up 160 homes for what would be young families to move into. Right now it's expensive to buy a home in Frankfort. And maybe Justin can talk about this because he's got daughters that are coming up to this age that are trying to buy homes, but the cheapest house you can get is near $500,000, and a lot of these are very old. So that comes with, maybe $100,000 if you don't want a $20,000 maintenance cost to keep your house up because you got to put a new roof on and do all the things that come with owning a home that was built 80 years ago or 100 years ago. So that's the scenario. And
for example, Senator Rand Paul's December 2020
What Dan
report highlighted.
Sorry about that. That was
Dan. It's Charles. I got a question. The homes that you're talking about building in the Gardens, they're going to be the manufactured homes, sometimes called prefab homes.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
build them in a couple of, they put the infrastructure up in a couple of days or whatever. Are people concerned that maybe they don't come up to or they won't come up to the standard? I got relatives that live in Frankfort, beautiful brick homes, that these won't be brick, I presume. And are they concerned about that?
They may. There is a general market concern for that, but that should be gone considering that the Gateway Mobile Home Park is already there and the quality is visible.
Got it.
There's 2-story manufactured homes there. It was done in 3 phases. So the first phase, which is the one that I moved into, is all single story, but phases 2 and 3, and that is of a high quality nature, even phase 1. But if you drove around the neighborhood, you'd be like, oh, this is beautiful. Everybody keeps their yards nice. They're, on the small end, 1,500 to 1,600 feet, and they go up to 2,500 feet if you do the 2-story guys and some of the larger homes there. They're really nice. We would call it an A+ manufactured housing community. It's a benefit to the community, and it doesn't cost the city anything because we keep our own streets. It's a zero crime neighborhood. We had in Gateway, which would be across the street from our new development. We had one. I think it's in the fire protection district. We had one fire due to lightning strike over 30 years. It's 100% occupied, and there's no crime. It's like an idyllic place for community's elderly and who haven't quite reached the assisted living need. They want their independence. They can have their own home, and this is a way they can do it. And it's more convenient and affordable than having a single family house that needs the upkeep. So this is really a great solution for the city. There's no reason for them to be stopping it. And this is my issue, and I'm upset about our situation there. But more broadly, what I learned about what was going on here is much worse than what's going on to me. I can understand a not in my backyard type issue, But when every single petitioner of the village comes forward and has the same problem, my development company, we have a reasonable footprint. This is less than 1% of our assets. But as I talk to petitioners who are, small business people that come into the village and who've spent between $30,000 and $80,000 upkeeping a building that they won't let them fully develop and are constantly being harassed to do this. And I can't get into people's hearts, but the only rational reason that I can see that it's being killed is that potentially there are some political allies in the neighborhood that want to use the guy's parking lot and are currently using it while it's vacant. It really starts to, this is the stuff that we see all over, but don't really get involved, and this is extremely concentrated.
Yeah, I wanted to get Justin Ozinga in part of the conversation. Yeah. So, Justin, first of all, I know that you're running for mayor, but are you an investor in this project?
No, I'm not. I'm not an investor.
Okay, and just tell me why you're supporting this and why you're running for mayor.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I'm never dreamed of running for mayor. Never really had thoughts of getting into politics. But, I live in Frankfort for 21 years now, raised 5 daughters here, and they want to stay here. And so I'm just excited about the future. I love Frankfort and the people that are here. I think it's wonderful, great place to raise a family. So I started talking to various folks about why nothing's getting built in this town, the town of Frankfort, and it just kept coming back to the leadership not wanting change, not wanting to approve developments. And what's worse than that is a lot of the developments that are proposed never see the light of day. The residents of the community never even hear about them. They're just told no for whatever reason. I don't know what the motivation is. And so I started getting more involved, started digging into it more, actually developed a relationship with the current mayor, started talking to him, and then working on various projects. And I wasn't happy with what I was hearing. And so I asked him, I said, how could I get more involved in Frankfort and from a leadership position? I think I have a lot to offer, and I'd love to help out, make this community better. And his response to me was, well, you could run for mayor. The election's coming up in April.
So you are. Okay. Is there any, real quick, because we're up against the clock, gentlemen, is there any pending litigation?
No, but we're the Gardens of Frankfort has to keep their options open. I would never have dreamed that we'd have to go in and have another lawsuit for our rights here. But we are going to stand up for ourselves and do what is needed. But we don't want to have. Just as a frame of reference. I'm getting in. This is my hometown. We noticed this was going on. We're trying to do things here in a civic nature. And hopefully we don't have to go through that. But I don't. That's not. It hadn't been filed or anything.
All right. Well,
the bigger issue at hand is that the people need to be the voice, and they're the ones that should be deciding these things, not a couple people that decide it in a closed room. That's just not appropriate.
Okay, Dan Rose and Justin Ozinga, we're going to have to leave it there for today. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy and Charles.
Thank you, and they joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Why do so many companies count on Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating? Consistent high level of quality, an ISO certified and A2LA accredited heat treating, electroplating, fastener sorting, and packaging job shop. Riverdale Plating and Heat Treating meets and exceeds client specifications. Whether a high volume or a small production run, their processes ensure a job well done. Celebrating their 15th anniversary this year, they